Good evening. I will call to order the City West Bend Plan Commission for November 4th, 2020. Acknowledge we do have a quorum with Commissioner Startle absent and excused and Commissioners Gannon and Schmidt absent. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 items on the agenda, with the first one being approval of the Plan Commission meeting minutes, the regular meeting on October 6th.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Hoodester, a second by Newman. Any comments, corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to 4A, conditional use permits. Item number 1, CU-20-011, a public hearing at 6 p.m. meeting for a proposed conditional use permit to allow a tattoo and body piercing establishment at 622 Elm Street, unit number 6 by Megan Klosky. The applicant is Megan Klosky of Majak. Agent is Donna Canings. We're going to change our order a little bit. I'm going to have Jim give us an intro first, and then we'll open up the public hearing. So take it away.
All right. Good evening. So Megan Kolsky from Majak has submitted a conditional use permit for a tattoo and body establishment. A conditional use permit is required under Chapter 17, under 1726(3)K of the zoning code in order to operate a tattoo and body piercing establishment. The property is located downtown on Elm Street. The property is zoned B2, which is our central business district. And as part of the requirement, that district does require that conditional use. The unit will be located at the northeast corner of the building as unit number 6. The applicant has submitted a letter of operations for the business, and they are going to be operating a tattoo and body piercing establishment along with some retail sales of accessories. The hours of operations would be from noon to 9 p.m. 7 days a week for scheduled appointments, and then walk-in appointments will be from noon to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays through Sundays. They're anticipating 5 to 10 customers per day. State licensing is required for the tattoo establishment. They are also planning on doing a window sign on the front of the building to identify their location. Since the property is within a B2 zoning district, on-site parking isn't required, and the parking would be provided on the within the public streets. Prior to operating the business, establishment license from the state and all other inspections from the state, county, and building inspection will need to be completed prior to opening. All property owners within 200 feet were notified of the conditional use, and staff received no comments or concerns. Staff would recommend approval with the listed conditions that we had in our staff memo.
Thank you so much. So we'll open up the public hearing. If there's anybody from the public who would like to make a comment, come on up. If not, I'll be looking for a motion to end the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. I'll take Fleischman and Marischal. If there's no comments, then we'll call a motion to end the public hearing. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then we'll open up if there's any questions for Jim. Otherwise, I'm looking for approval of the conditional use permit.
Move to approve with the conditions. Second.
Thank you. Motion by Dolnick, second by Marischal. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, and that passes. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to item B, extraterritorial certified survey map, item number 1, XCSM-20-0141, lot CSM located on the south side of County Highway NN and west of Maple Road by David and Mary Jo Witt. The applicant are their Living Trust at Witt's Vegetable Market LLC, and the agent is Eric Schmidt's Corporation. Jim, take it away.
Thanks. This one lot extraterritorial CSM is located approximately a quarter mile south and east of the city corporate limits on the south side of County Trunk Highway NN. The purpose of the CSM is to create a residential lot. The CSM itself is not located within the city's sanitary sewer service area or the city's planning area. The lot is approximately 5 acres, and adequate right-of-way is provided for County Trunk Highway NN in accordance with the city's official map. The wetlands and floodplain boundaries are identified on the CSM, and we are asking for some minor technical corrections to show that 2-foot elevation above the floodplain, along with some typographic errors that we had on the CSM. So we're asking those to be corrected prior to recording. Staff would recommend approval with the condition that the technical corrections be made.
Thank you so much. I'll be looking for that motion. Thank you, Fleischman and Newman. Any questions for Jim? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, that passes. Moving on to C, Certified Survey Map, number 1, CSM-20-015, to combine 2 existing lots located at 1390 and 1404 Hawthorne Drive by Nick Didier. The applicant is Laura Wells of Colgate, Wisconsin. The agent is Nick Didier of Mensch LLC. Jim?
Thanks. This certified survey map is located at the northeast corner of Westminster Court and Hawthorne Drive. The purpose of the CSM is to combine these 2 platted lots into one for the future construction of a home. The lots have 2 separate zonings. The lot from the plat from Westminster Place was zoned RS3, while the other lot that was created by a certified survey map was zoned RS4. So prior to recording this CSM, a zoning amendment would need to take place to change the zoning to be all RS3 and be consistent with the surrounding zoning within that area. The CSM is resulting in a 0.64 acre lot, which conforms to the zoning requirements of the RS3. Adequate right-of-way is provided. The other caveat that we have with this is that since part of the lot was not in a stormwater plan, engineering is requesting that a amendment to the stormwater plan for this area be completed prior to the issuance of the building permit. And then also a lot specific grading plan would also be needed. Staff did note that there are some minor technical corrections that would need to be done, and staff would recommend approval with the listed conditions.
Sounds great. So I'll open up for a motion on that certified survey map.
Motion to approve with the listed conditions.
Thank you, Hudisner and Fleischman. Any questions for Jim? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and that passes. Moving on to D, site plans. Item number 1, SP-20-016, a site plan for the redevelopment of commercial at 1043 South Main Street by Nate Groff. The applicant is Kevin Scheineman of West Bend Dairy Queen. The agent is Nate Groff of Kimley Horn and Associates. Jim?
Thank you. This site plan is for a 6,334 square foot Dairy Queen restaurant to be located at 1043 South Main. This building is going to be replacing the existing commercial building just north of us, which will be raised as part of the development process. The property is zoned B1 Community Business District, and the site plan conforms to the requirements of the zoning district. Screened refuse area is being provided at the southeast corner of the site. 2 driveways will be proposed from South Main Street. A total of 40 parking stalls will be provided, which is consistent and adequate for the requirements for a restaurant use. 4 stacking stalls are also provided from the menu board for the drive-through area. The sanitary and water laterals exist for this site and will be reused for the development of the property. Stormwater management plan has been submitted for the development and is currently under review. The grades on the site have been generally designed to drain to the north, where the water is captured into catch basins and then conveyed by storm sewer to the storm sewer system in South Main Street. Site lighting will consist of LED lighting on 20-foot poles, and building-mounted fixtures are also proposed. Landscaping is being provided around the perimeter, along with the along the foundation, and also within the parking areas. The site plan also identifies a monument sign being located on the south side of the site with a 62 square foot monument sign. This also includes a 25.87 square foot electronic message center. This does exceed the code requirements that in order to provide for the larger sign, an exception would have to be granted by the Plan Commission. This exception will need to be done by a separate action since we have to hold a public notice or public hearing for that request. The site plan also identifies 2 building signs on the building, a 76.4 square foot sign on the north side of the building, along with a 57.6 square foot sign on the south side of the building, or I'm sorry, on the west side of the building. Along with that, there is a blizzard graphic and a spoon that is identified as part of that signage. Didn't have the dimensions for that, so I wasn't able to verify that all the signage on that side of the building does comply. So we're asking that we'd have some clarification on that it would meet the requirements of the 10%. The architectural building elevations will consist of 3 different colors of EIFS surfaces. And then also a metal panel system will be used on the over the north entrance. The lower portions of the wall will be a stone material. And eyebrow outriggers are proposed over the entrances and the doorways. Staff finds those architectural elevations to be acceptable. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the listed conditions.
Thank you. I'll ask first for a motion on the site plan with the conditions.
Also move.
Thank you. Thank you. So, motion by Dolnick, second by Newman. And I'll open up if there's any questions from the commission. Okay, sounds good. Then I'll call for a motion. All those in favor, say, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to clarify, Mayor.
Kevin, do you mind coming up to the microphone? You can introduce yourself for us.
Thank you. Hi there, my name is Kevin Scheinman. I'm the owner of Dairy Queen in Kewaskum and Jackson, and we're excited to bring this great American icon back to the city of West Bend. I just wanted to clarify the square footage that you had in your memo. I believe that's a typo. You said 6,312 square feet for the building. It's 3,312 square feet. So I believe you said 6,000, and we had indicated the typo in the city's memo on, I think, previously today. So I just wanted to clarify for the commission that it's not a 6,000 square foot building, but a 3,000. So, and we're looking forward to redeveloping this property and getting it to something that's vibrant and useful for the community. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? Yes, sir. Feel free to state your name and address and let us know what's on your mind.
My name is Jeff Kern. I own Jumbo's Frozen Custard at 1014 South Main Street. I'm also a city resident at 224 Minns Park Circle. I was last in this room in 2003 when I came before the Planning Commission with an opportunity to redevelop the A&W here in West Bend that had sat vacant for a number of years after a fire. And I redeveloped that site and have built a business since then, now 17 or 18 years old. Let me just ask if I could and go on the record as saying that, well, I'm not at all against Kevin or the opportunity for Dairy Queen to reestablish itself in West Bend. It's amazing to me that the city would sell a piece of property to a business that directly competes against me. I'm a free market guy, but I don't understand the purpose of Planning Commission when the city is actively involved in putting the same frozen dessert treat service with similar hot dogs, similar hamburgers, similar French fries. As a matter of fact, the person that delivers my custard mix will go right across the street and deliver to Kevin. It seems to me that that's a lack of foresight among the city of West Bend in allowing something like that to happen. It's a beautiful building. I have no problem with that. There's a lot of opportunity in West Bend for it to proceed. I just don't understand why it goes across the street from me and hits me in the wallet the minute that this vote goes through. Because any opportunity for future sales will be directly related to the vote that's happening right now. Evidently, the $1.3 million that I invested in Jumbos when I built the 17 years of service to this community and support, the $6 or $7 million in payroll means nothing to the people that are sitting in this room. For you to sell a parcel to these people so that I can look out the window of my business at the competition. As you're coming down the street, if I'm selling a shake for $3.50 and Kevin wants to sell it for $3, you can look at that in the same view out the front window of your vehicle. That's inappropriate. I just want to go on record as saying that that's disappointing, and I'll be here to fight for every customer that I have, but this chamber is making it very difficult to succeed in this endeavor. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jeff. I don't know if Mark or Jim could at least touch on just the Plan Commission's role in this process and what it looks like moving forward.
I can try to address that.
Yeah, thanks.
First of all, the sale of the land for this use, which was already zoned for the B1 commercial use, which is what both Mr. Kearns and Mr. Scheinemann's businesses are allowed under, existed on the property before. The city, the decision to sell this is not this commission's, it was the city council's, and it's based upon land sales and markets and the rest. And the council made that choice on it. It they don't dictate, as this commission does not, what uses can go in or what businesses can go in, only what the uses that can go in by zoning. And this is an applicable use permitted, and the item that is before you tonight is only the site plan approval, not the use, the question of the use or the question of the sale.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from our group? Otherwise, we do have a motion second on the site plan, so I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and that passes. Move on to site plan number 2, SP-20-019, site plan for the proposed storage building at 2230 Stonebridge Road by John Laufer. The applicant is John Laufer of Diamond Holdings LLC. Agent is Kevin Parrish of Quam Engineering. Jim?
Thank you. This site plan is for 2 buildings on this property. One is a 7,500 square foot cold storage building, and the other one is also a 5,480 square foot storage building located at 2230 Stonebridge. The property is zoned M3, Planned Business Park District. The developer is proposing to construct a 50 by 150 cold storage building west of the existing building, and then also a second building which is 20 foot by 274 foot, basically mini warehousing storage there along the southern edge. Access to the site will remain the same from the existing driveway. An additional 3 parking stalls are being provided just east of the new storage building on that southern edge. No sanitary, sewer, or water services are proposed for either of these buildings since they are going to be used for cold storage. Stormwater Management Plan has been submitted, and the grades have been generally designed to drain to the west and then south to the regional storm facilities. No site lighting is proposed for these buildings or on these buildings. Landscaping has not been proposed, but after final review, staff would recommend that foundation and perimeter plantings in accordance with the zoning code be provided, and staff would recommend plantings along the southern edge of the property to break up that vast expanse of that 274-foot long storage building. The building materials for these 2 buildings will consist of a light gray metal roof and wall panel, along with a 3-foot 6-inch wainscot of Nova brick along the lower portions of the building. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the conditions listed.
Thank you. I'll open up for a motion on site plan.
Motion to approve with the conditions listed.
Thank you. Got a motion by Hoogister, second by Fleischman. Any questions for Jim on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Thank you. That passes. And moving on to item 3, SP-20-020, site plan for the proposed storage building at 2220 Stonebridge Road by John Laufer. Applicant is Mr. Laufer. Agent is Kevin Parrish again. Jim?
Thanks. This site plan is for a 8,250 square foot storage building located at 2220 Stonebridge Road. Again, this property is zoned M3, which is the planned business park district. And the proposal does conform to the zoning requirements. The developer is proposing to construct a 50 by 165 foot storage building along the west edge of the site. Access will be from the existing 2 driveways that front on Stonebridge Road. And additional parking is being provided in front of each of those storage units. No sanitary, sewer, or water services are being proposed for the new building. Stormwater Management Plan, again, has been submitted for this project, and the grades have been designed to drain to the east and then north to the stormwater pond, where that stormwater pond then drains further east to the ditch line in Stonebridge Road. The architectural building elevations, again, will be a beige-colored metal panel along with the metal roof, and the tan-colored Nova brick wainscot will be used on that lower portion, that lower 3.5 foot portion of the walls. Staff would recommend approval with the 3 listed conditions.
Thank you. Excuse me. I'll ask for a motion on the site plan. Thank you. Motion by Newman, second by Fleischman. Any questions for Jim? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then moving on to site plan number 4, it's SP-20-022, site plan for a pickup window on the south side of the building at 210 North 18th Avenue by Brian Engel. The applicant is Brian Engel of BE Creative Studio LLC. The agent is West Bend Enterprises LLC. Jim?
Thank you. The site plan is for architectural building alterations along with some minor parking lot alterations along the south side of the Sendex development at 210 South 18th Avenue. The property is zoned B1 Community Business District. So the site alterations are going to consist mainly of pavement markings to denote a new pickup lane for the a drive-through pickup window that would be installed on that south end of the building. The 24-foot wide drive aisle would be maintained for the adjacent parking just south of the pickup lane. Eastern window will be modified to install that pickup window. And then also an awning would be installed above that pickup window. They are also proposing a new projecting sign for Topper's Pickup over that pickup window to denote where that pickup window is being located. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the listed condition.
Sounds great. I'll open up for a motion on the site plan.
I would like to make a motion, but I would like to add a condition
Sure, go ahead.
because I have concerns with the internal traffic circulation. I don't know how. I guess from what I saw on the site plan, I think we need to enhance the signage to clearly direct vehicles towards the drive-through lane. I don't know if pavement marking signage might be needed. I don't know what the turning movements will be, the length of the queue. Is there an impact on other businesses? Because there's an existing overhead door in that area where you would have the queue of vehicles. There's also a concrete walk that's existing at the end of the proposed drive-through lane, and it's not indicated on the site plan if that's proposed to be removed partially, entirely, if that walk was there for a reason, if there was another access door, I don't know. So I guess I would like to add another condition that we clarify on the revised site plan, I guess, the internal traffic circulation, how that's going to be addressed. So I would make the motion to approve this with the condition that's on there, plus the other condition I just mentioned.
Okay, thank you. And can we have a second to that motion? Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, say, oh, I'm sorry. Yep, come on up. Please state your name and address.
I'm Brian Engel with Be Creative Studio, working with Topper's Pizza. I just want to kind of clarify the process or the reason for the window. Topper's is primarily a pickup and delivery service. Pizza. It's not an actual drive-through, so there's not going to be any queuing. It'll be if you call ahead order or online order. You go there to pick up your pizza. If it's not ready at the time that you pull up, then they'd send you to one of the parking stalls there. The parking stalls on that south side are primarily vacant, excuse me, except for it's a lot of the use of those stalls, from what I can tell on site, was the adjacent Planet Fitness. They use their customer parking in there. Not customer, I'm sorry, their employee parking is a lot of times down in that area. So it's not your standard, I guess, drive-through. There's not going to be a queuing that's going to be backing up 5 cars, for example. It might be 1 car sitting there, maybe 2 total. And then the existing sidewalk, that door, it comes out on that landing. The landing extends beyond the door, I think 5 feet. And I thought I had indicated on there, but maybe not. But the goal would be to scallop that back at a 45. It would not interfere with the ADA accessibility of that door. And we might actually abandon the use of that door because it's really not needed for an egress standpoint. We're going to be less than 15 occupants. So.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. And so the other thing, with the traffic circulation, somebody coming to your window would have to come on the south side of the parking area there and make the turn.
Right, sure.
And so I don't know if there's a sign on the island that's shown on the document there,
existing
to direct people towards that south side of the parking, so they don't start driving along the north side and then they can't make the turn. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, that pavement marking may not be needed, but maybe an additional sign to clarify the pattern for whoever's picking up their pizza.
I agree. That's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'd have to talk to the Toppers to see what their intentions would be. I would imagine it would. I don't know if they need to reserve them, to be honest with you. I think there's enough over there. They might just send them to an empty stall. If it makes sense, though, if we can do that and have some that are reserved, so it might make it easier if they're parked there and the pizza is ready, then they can just pull through and come back around. That might make the most sense if we could do that. And I'll talk to Jim in the meantime about that process, and we can design, or we can try to put that in the design if that makes sense to do so.
So then, Max, do you feel comfortable? Do you want to keep that condition in that you had, or do you want to remove that from your motion?
Well, yes, I would like to keep the condition, because even if it's just to add the sign, I think it should be on the final site plan.
Yep.
And then so that in a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, we are looking at the same document and we understand that was part of the site plan.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
So then I have a motion and a second. If there's no other comments or questions, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That passes. And then our last item is number 5, SP-18-005, site plan for Regner Park Beach House Building Addition and Parking Lot by Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, City of West Bend. The applicant is us, and the agent is the same. Jim?
Thank you. So Park Recreation and Forestry has submitted a site plan for the beach house within Regner Park. The site plan includes constructing a 44-stall parking lot and extensively renovating the existing beach house and adding on to the, it would be the west side of the building. The site plan identifies the construction of the new parking lot within an existing grassy area just northwest of the beach house. Site plan does include some curbing along the east edge of the site, and staff would recommend that we would provide curbing along that north and west side also in accordance with our urban design standards that we have, and also to maintain that pavement edge. The existing sanitary sewer located on the west and south sides of the building will be modified to accommodate for the new construction that will be occurring. The only grading that's proposed is within the new parking lot area, along with the area immediately around the building. The Parks Department has been working with the engineering department to create a stormwater plan for within the Regner Park area. The architectural building elevations identify the removal of the walls on the east and west side of the northern portion of the building, and the southern extension of the building will have the walls removed and will eventually be replaced with a covered patio. The west side of the building will have a small building addition to accommodate interior renovations, and the east side of the building will only have the exterior renovated. The building materials will consist of land and stone matching the existing building. The current siding will be replaced with fiber cement siding, and a new asphalt shingle roof would be replaced onto the building. There are a couple of minor technical corrections that would need to be completed prior to issuing the building permits, and staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the listed conditions.
Thank you, Jim. I'll ask for a motion on the site plan.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Dolnick, second by Marischal. I'll put you on the stand, Mike, because I asked you about it earlier too. So I had had some questions just about the timing, because I know funds are still out there that we want to collect, obviously, and we've talked about doing this project possibly in phases. But the idea of getting this approval tonight is that you actually have this, down on paper, and then you can now use this as a tool to fundraise or whatever it might be. Correct?
That is correct. We just wanted to make sure that our architectural plans were coherent with the city standards and plan commission, things of that nature. From this point forward, we could then kind of start or continue a fundraising campaign for this project. We've worked with our architect to modify our original plans. At first, we were going to plan on building everything, but with this plan, we can do it in phases if we needed to. The main lobby area, the restrooms on the north end, the patio area on the south end, those would be the key components to this. The community room on the west side of the building and the parking lot we could do at a later date, again, depending on funding, things of that nature. So it's just a continuance of what we have been doing in Regner Park for the approximate last decade with the different building renovations and site renovations and things of that nature. So we were pretty excited to get to this point with just the planning process. And we have some pretty decent budget numbers and things like that. So from this point forward, we can really all out start a fundraising campaign, things of that nature to, hopefully get this project kicked off here. So, but we don't have a specific timeline as to any potential construction or anything at this point in time. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it seems like a really neat project and a good boon to our park over there. Awesome. Sorry, yeah. Yes, sir. You can come on up if you want to state your name and address for us.
Jerry Maring, 1419 Hidden Waters Circle, West Bend. I just want to continue what Mike was talking about. I'm part of the Regner Park Rejuvenation Committee, and we've been working on these projects for, is it 10 years already?
8 to 10.
Yeah. And this is kind of the last piece that we're trying to put together. We've done all the buildings in the park, and we have had trouble early on getting the fundraising, but I think, and I wasn't sure was it moving ahead or not, so I was glad to see it tonight because I think it's a great project. It'll kind of be the cap, finish off what we've worked on for so long. And Regner Park is a jewel we have here. People come from all over and are amazed at this park that we have. So we want to complete it so it can continue to be used as it should be. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for that endorsement, Jerry. Are there any comments from the commission? Sounds good.
Second.
Thank you. I think we already had a motion second, but we could have a bunch of them. That's fine. Then if there's no other comments or questions, then all those in favor of endorsing the site plan, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Then being no further business for the Plan Commission, I'll adjourn by the call of the chair. Have a great night.